Hello, welcome to Jason Old Millennial. My name is Jason, speaking to you in my basement in the great state of Kansas. In today's video, I'm showing off some Blu-ray DVDs that I own, trying to go through all my Blu-rays and DVDs from starting with letter A all the way to Z. I already went through A through I believe it is, so now I'm doing J and K's, which not a lot, but I'll cover that, what I have there in that letters here on Jason, the Old Millennial. Hello, hope everybody's doing well here on a Wednesday, late afternoon, early evening, I guess, period here, and I'm showing off some Blu-rays and DVDs I own, going through my collection. As you can see, kind of behind me, my Blu-ray DVD shelf, and I'm going through letters J through K that I own. Mostly, I got a lot of J's, I think, here, but first, I put all my James Bond movies under J. I just get all the James Bond movies and put them in chronological order and just count that as a J anyway. So first I got Dr. No, the very first James Bond. I just got this last year because they just went through their 60th anniversary just this last year in 2022. So I wanted to get this and look at it. And at some point I want to do a top 10 audio commentary video, talk about, because I love watching audio commentaries or listening to them while I'm watching the movie. And just say, like, one of the greatest things about owning these Blu-rays is I love the audio commentary. It's so good throughout these early ones, at least the Sean Connery and Roger Moore ones. They basically splice up different interviews with the cast and the director and all the people that made the movie, and they kind of splice it during the movie. So you're kind of getting, it's not exactly commentary while the movie's going, but it's like previous interviews that they cut into the movie, and I absolutely love it because it gives you so much insight into how they made it anyways. But yeah, Dr. No. You see, I don't have all of them. I'm still got a lot I need to put in my collection. I got Goldfinger. I would say it's probably my favorite James Bond. It's the third one, with Sean Connery. They really nailed the formula, I feel like, in this movie. This came out in, what, 64? So when we get to 2024, we'll have a 60th anniversary of this one, which would be really cool. I got some tape or something on, I need to clean that up. But yeah, absolutely love this one. Sean Connery's great. Love the henchman. Odd Job's one of the great henchmen of all time. Really good villain, in fact, and has one of my favorite lines. Do you expect me to talk? No, I expect you to die. Like, I love that line. Always was a great line. But yeah, and the woman painting gold, that's a really cool scene. Anyways, but yeah, love Goldfinger. Definitely, if you haven't watched James Bond, I recommend Goldfinger, especially if you want to really get into everything that makes James Bond great is in Goldfinger. Great intro, great song with a great, what do you call it? I'm forgetting what it's called, but, you know, showing everybody's name and who made it, you know, the credits, the opening credits. The song and opening credit scene is great. Has one of the great henchmen. Anyway, so everything that's great about James Bond is in there. Then I have You Only Live Twice, another Sean Connery one. I believe it's fifth one, before he kind of took a break from James Bond, before he came back again. But yeah, another classic one. Always loved the ending as a kid, I think, with all the ninjas coming down. Of course, it has one of the great set designs, villain lair, another great, so many great things about James Bond, and that it's made, you know, the villain lairs are so great. I believe Don Adams, is the guy who creates a lot of the set designs, and he's just an amazing set designer, and that's one of the great ones. I think that volcano lair, that I think has been parodied quite a bit in other movies like Austin Powers 2, I believe, and so forth. And yeah, I love the ninjas grappling down and getting into fights. And it's like the first time we've ever seen ninjas in movies, and that was like a whole new thing that then became very popular. And of course, as a kid, I was like, oh, ninjas, love ninjas. They look so cool. So that's a big highlight there. Then I have Diamonds Are Forever. I have Thunderball, but I have that by my TV because I'm still watching the audio commentary on that one. So I don't have Thunderball. I have Thunderball, but I don't have it on my shelf right now. So I didn't grab that one because I have a stack of Blu-rays by my TV that I'm like, I need to watch these because I like bought them just recently. And so I need to watch them, watch all the special features, watch the audio commentary. So I still have the Thunderball there because I watched one audio commentary. There's two of them. I've watched one. I need to watch the second audio commentary in there and then put it back on my shelf. But anyways, I got that one, but we got Diamonds Are Forever. As you see, I'm missing the second movie I still need to get, From Russia with Love, but I think it's the only one I'm missing from Sean Connery. Yeah, because this is the seventh James Bond, sixth one with Sean Connery. He left, came back, did this one. People really don't like this one. I actually really quite like this one. I think there's yeah, it's got all the classics, great song intros like that. I like the two villains. I can't remember their names now, but they kind of Kit or something like that, and somebody, and they're very odd, but I kind of like that about them. And Jill St. John is great, she's really good looking. Yeah, and I think it actually has a good ending, some good action sequences in there. I think underrated Bond film in my opinion. Sometime I'm gonna have to watch all the Bonds and go through them and rank them. But another one that I think is underrated that I really enjoy is The Man with the Golden Gun. It's a second movie with Roger Moore. I need to get Live and Let Die. I don't have that one yet. I need to grab that one. But I really like this one because I love the villain. It's probably my favorite villain because I really like the actor. Christopher Lee plays Scaramanga, whatever. And it's a great, like, here's a guy who is so can go one-on-one with James Bond. I mean, usually the bad guy is just some billionaire who has this elaborate scheme to destroy the world or whatever, and has like a cool henchman that can, his muscle. But this is one where he does have a henchman, Nick Nack, a little person, but he's really the muscle. I mean, he's not like but he's like such a good shot. He has that golden gun, of course, is really cool, iconic. But he's such a good shot that he can go one-on-one with James Bond, which is really cool. And I actually love the dinner scene where he's just sitting there eating dinner and he's talking about his plan, his big plan, whatever. And him and Roger Moore going back and forth, I think they're both just really good actors. And I love seeing them go back and forth. And I don't know, I really like it. I like even the goofy parts I kind of enjoy, and the car chase and the setting of Thailand in there I thought was really good. I don't know, I really like that movie. I'm saying another movie I don't think people like that I really like is Moonraker. Another Roger Moore movie. I see I'm missing A Spy Who Loved Me, I think is the one I still need to get. No, here it is, Spy Who Loved Me. I think I got them out of order because I think it goes Spy Who Loved Me, then Moonraker. So sorry, I had that just a little bit out of order because you got The Spy Who Loved Me, another really classic, great James Bond film. I believe that's his third film, Roger Moore's third film. Has my favorite henchman of all time, both movies. I love, I think this one people usually like. This movie, I think they think is a little campy, maybe. I just really like it because it has my favorite henchman of all time, Jaws. I absolutely love Jaws. He scared me as a kid. And it has one of the scariest scenes, I think, in a James Bond movie where he puts on this big clown outfit because they're like, I don't know, doing like Mardi Gras or something. And so there's all this partying in the street, and I don't know, for some reason these people are dressing up as clowns or something. And he has this big clown head, and he's like 7 foot tall, and he walks down this alley, and I remember as a kid just creeped the heck out of me. But it's so scary. I love it when he smiles and he has that big metal teeth. Oh, it's so great. And it's just terrifying to think that he's like biting people to death because his teeth are like made out of metal. Plus, he's 7 foot tall and he's like superhuman. He has superhuman strength and all this. But I love when James Bond goes up against him because he's so overmatched by Jaws, but somehow figures a way to get away or get one over on Jaws. And Jaws is like unkillable. Like he gets in these situations where you're like, okay, that would kill anybody, but of course it's Jaws, so he just walks away and just brushes off some dirt. But yeah, I really like both these films, of course. I would say Roger Moore is probably my favorite James Bond, though Sean Connery I really like as well. I like Pierce Brosnan as well. But anyways, the last James Bond movie actually I have is Casino Royale. It's the only Daniel Craig one I own. And to be honest, it's the only Daniel Craig one I really like. You see, I'm still missing some more James Bond because I still need to get Octopussy and A View to a Kill, and For Your Eyes Only. I still need to get, which I really enjoy, but so I still got some Blu-rays to fit because I want to get all the Sean Connery, Roger Moore ones. It's kind of my goal because I really like that era of Bond, but maybe I'll get some other ones. I don't know. I do like Pierce Brosnan. I'm not crazy about Timothy Dalton, even though people love Timothy Dalton. My memory of those movies weren't that good, and Timothy Dalton's a little too like serious. He's like a serious like Shakespearean actor, and it doesn't fit to me. Like I think James Bond needs to be a little more fun. And that's what I say, Daniel Craig. I'm not crazy about Daniel Craig. People love Daniel Craig. There are a lot of people I've heard say Daniel Craig's their favorite Bond. I'm not as crazy about Daniel Craig. To me, he's like too serious. He doesn't smile ever. He doesn't really have funny, witty jokes. It doesn't seem like. He's very built. He's the most jacked of the James Bond, so he looks good in action scenes. And this movie is a good action movie. Like to me, it's like it's not a good James Bond movie, but it's a good action movie because I'm like it doesn't really have all the tropes of a good James Bond movie necessarily. But overall, the action is done incredibly well. And like I said, Daniel Craig's really good in the action scenes, so and he looks great with his shirt off. So I mean, he's good in all of those cases. And overall, this is like a really good movie, and the only one I really like out of the Daniel Craig era. All right, that was all my James Bond ones. Then I go to probably my favorite action franchise that's still going on right now, and that is John Wick. I got the first John Wick, Keanu Reeves. Just absolutely amazing action movie. I remember the first time watching it, like it seemed like it was really popular. This, I don't know what you call this kind of trend. I think starts with Taken with Liam Neeson, and we got a lot of these movies like Denzel Washington did one that I'm forgetting right now, and then of course Tom Cruise is out there making Mission Impossibles. Kind of restarts the John Wick franchise. They all start, it seems like, around the same time, and it's all of these movies where you got these guys in their 50s and they're action stars, which is kind of crazy to think. These guys are kind of older men past their prime, but yet they're making really good action sequence. Also, Red was coming out with Bruce Willis and John Malkovich and a lot of other great actors. And then also the Expendables were coming out this time. We got all these great 80s action stars like Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jet Li. Anyways, Dolph Lundgren. It's like it was really popular getting these older actors that were some were action people, some were not, but then putting them in these great action movies, and they worked really well. I actually own quite a bit of these. But my favorite one is John Wick, which I remember the first time watching it thinking, yeah, this is okay. I don't know if I was crazy about it. But then after I saw John Wick 2, and I thought John Wick 2 was like one of the greatest like action movie I've ever seen. And then I went back and watched this again, and I was like, no, these are absolutely incredible action sequences and really incredibly shot and choreographed. The overall story, I think, is a little weak on this first one. I think, in my opinion, I think people think this is, or people would say this is their favorite one. This is actually probably my third out of the three that are out, just because I think the story's a little weaker, in my opinion, even though it starts a whole series. I actually like the second, third one because it kind of expands this whole idea of this underground assassin group or club thing that goes around that nobody knows about. I think it's actually very fascinating. So of course I go to John Wick 2, which I have a steelbook. It's the only steelbook I owned, and I didn't know steelbooks were a thing. And I got this, and I thought this was the coolest thing I've ever seen. And then I realized people like collect steelbooks, and that's like a thing, I guess. And I'm like, oh, that'd be cool. I don't know if they're more expensive. I don't remember what I paid for it, but yeah, I wouldn't mind getting more like steel books like this because it's definitely a really cool looking case. But yeah, like I said, this is probably my favorite action movie of all time. Yeah, just absolutely amazing. The way he moves around, shoots people, and reloads while he's in the middle of shooting. I mean, and then also grabs people and does jiu-jitsu in the middle of it. Like, absolutely amazing. Some of the best action sequences I've ever seen. And then, of course, you got the third one, which I didn't see the first two in the theater. This is the only one I've seen actually in the theater. I don't know why I didn't really get on the John Wick train until after I saw the second movie. I rented the second movie, I think, and was like blown away. And so when the third one came out, I was so excited. So I went in the theater and saw this and absolutely loved it. It has a weak ending to it. I think a lot of people would probably say this is their least favorite. which I kind of understand. I did have a lot of problems. There's this whole sequence in the desert that kind of makes no sense and really didn't provide a lot to the movie. Kind of wasted time. Seemed like, yeah, it didn't really mount to much. Still, the action sequences are absolutely amazing and really greatly shot. And again, spans more of the universe. So I'm really excited for John Wick Chapter 4 coming out. And I told somebody they can make 20 John Wicks and I'd go see them, because as long as they have amazing action sequences like that, I'm all for it. Nobody does it like John Wick. The guy who directed it, he's his former action stunt coordinator, stunt man, and he just knows how to do stunts. And Keanu Reeves does his own stunts, does his own driving, so it makes everything more authentic looking, I think. And he knows how to shoot an action sequence without like editing it and chopping it up and, you know, making it look fast. He's good at a job of, you see what's going on, you know, wide shots, you see the actors, it's all of them doing it, you know, it's not doubles coming in, you know, they don't pan out and it's a double. You can do close-ups and yeah, just and they're long sequences. They don't cut them up, so they, you know, it looks choppy. Absolutely love it. All right, and then we go to one of my favorite movies. I want to say my favorite, probably my favorite Spielberg movie, Jurassic Park. Absolutely loved this. Saw it in the theater back in 1993 when I was like 9 or 10 years old. And man, it scared the heck out of me when that T-Rex shows up. It looked real. Like, we've never seen dinosaurs look that real before. And yeah, this movie was really scary to me as a kid. There's definitely some good jump out moments, and the dinosaurs look so real even today. I mean, this is, I guess now it's 2023, so we're coming to an anniversary with Jurassic Park now I think about it. Was it like a 30-year anniversary or something? So that's pretty cool. So maybe we'll get some more stuff about Jurassic Park this year, which would be really cool. But yeah, absolutely amazingly shot by Steven Spielberg, one of the greatest directors of all time. That's the only Jurassic Park movie I have. I do like the other ones, but I absolutely love the first one. And then we got the precursor to one of my favorite shows, Cobra Kai, the original Karate Kid. Absolutely loved this movie as a kid, and as I got older, I think I appreciate it more, because I appreciate the relationship, the father-son relationship that Mr. Miyagi has with Daniel. I think it's so good, and there's a good emotional core there. And of course, it's a good underdog, you know, beating the bully up. And I would say I appreciate it more now that I watch Cobra Kai and we see what happens to the characters that growing up. And especially Johnny Lawrence is such a jerk in this movie, and then you see him now kind of growing up and maturing more. It's kind of cool. But absolutely love Mr. Miyagi. Pat Morita gave a great performance, got nominated for Best Supporting Actor, which was really cool. This has a really cool audio commentary I really like, because it has Pat Morita in there with Ralph Macchio. So it's cool to hear Pat Morita, doing commentary on the movie now that he's passed away. So it's really, like, you know, kind of cool to hear his voice again, you know, talking about this movie that made him the most famous movie. I mean, it's been his biggest character that he's ever done, and really made him a household name, I think, in my opinion. Mr. Miyagi is so cool. One of my favorite characters. I got 2 movies left. I'm in the K's. Don't have a lot of K's, just a couple there. This is one of my favorite old kung fu movies from the 70s, late 70s era. This is The Kid with the Golden Arm. Interesting name for a movie. That's crazy. This is like the last scene of the movie that they put on the cover. You watch the movie, you go, oh, that's like the last scene of the movie, pretty much. It's a weird shot to make the cover. I don't know why they did that. We get more scenes there from the movie. This guy's the bad guy. He's the kid with the golden arm, which just means his arms are kind of like, they make a clanging metal sound, so he can block swords and stuff, and it goes clang, clang, clang. So he doesn't have golden arms, but he has like metal arms or something. So that way he never has to use a weapon. His weapon is his arms, you know, that kind of thing. But yeah, really good fight choreography. Some of the best I've ever seen. I don't know if there's a scene at all in here. Maybe not. Yeah. But there's these 2 characters. One he's called Short Axe. He carries 2 short axes he fights with, and there's a guy called Silver Spear, which is funny. They don't have names. They just are called whatever weapon they use is kind of their name they use in the movie. But there's a guy called Silver Spear because he has a spear that's kind of silver. colored, whatever. Anyways, and they have one of the greatest fight scenes I've ever seen. It's not that long, but man, the choreography is just so amazing because it's so fast. And I'm thinking how complicated it is to do that fast and not, kill each other. But they are just absolutely amazing kung fu artists. And yeah, the story's not the best, but that's what you get with kung fu movies. The story's not going to be the greatest. The acting's not going to be the greatest, but you can be sure that the fight scenes are going to be incredible. And that's one of them I recommend if you ever want to watch an old kung fu movie. The last movie I got in my case, at least out here I can show, is Kung Fu Panda, one of my favorite animated movies. Probably my second favorite DreamWorks movie behind How to Train Your Dragon. When I did my top 10 favorite animated movies, I believe this was number 10 on my list. So yeah, it's right in my number 10, top 10 favorite animated movies. Absolutely love Jack Black's performance here as Po. It's very funny. And it's just a great homage to here. I'm a big fan of old Kung Fu movies. So this is just a great homage to Kung Fu movies and has a lot of the same tropes as those Kung Fu movies. So I really enjoy that, watching it and going, oh yeah, I've seen this scene in, such and such movie, and they're all kind of familiar, but very funny. The action sequences are done very, very well. And yeah, just a great story as well. Really fun movie. Really recommend Kung Fu Panda if you haven't seen it. Anyway, so those are my J's and K's. Comment, what do you think? What's your favorite movie out of that? Or what do you think about those movies? I'm sure if no one's watching, I'd love to hear your comments about the James Bond stuff. If I'm anywhere accurate about what I'm saying about James Bond, I'm sure you can correct me. But anyways, yeah, so feel free to comment. Love to hear them, read them. Just thank you to everybody watching this video. Thank you for liking it. And thank you to all the subscribers for supporting the channel. I really appreciate you all. I hope you have a good day.